Hola chicos, bienvenidos, soy Juani. Now can you answer these questions in Spanish in 4 or 5 seconds or less? Número uno, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Hablas español? ¿Hablas español? ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas estudiando español? ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas estudiando español? Y finalmente, ¿de dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres? Now, if you're having trouble answering these questions, or if you can't answer them at all, don't worry because we're going to go through each question one by one and go through different responses that you can use. But first of all, why do you think it's important to be able to answer these questions in Spanish fast? The reason this is important is because as a Spanish learner myself living here in Australia, whenever I've previously met a native Spanish speaker here in Australia, these are the 5 most common questions that all of them have asked me the first time that we've met. So let's go through them now. Número uno, ¿cómo te llamas? So, ¿cómo te llamas? What is your name? So one really important thing to remember, guys, is when you're translating things literally from English over into Spanish or vice versa, not everything is going to translate literally, as you can see here in this case. But basically we're saying, what is your name? So a few responses you can use. You can say, me llamo Juani. So me llamo Juani. So me llamo is probably the most common one. Or another one you can say is soy Juani. So soy Juani. I am Juani. Número dos, ¿cómo estás? So ¿cómo estás? Or how are you? So in this case, we're going to be using the verb estar, to be. So remember, we're always going to use the verb estar whenever we're describing temporary emotions. First, we conjugate the verb estar in the yo form. So remember, the yo form of estar is estoy. So estoy. So estoy bien. Estoy bien. I am good. Or no estoy mal. So no estoy mal. I'm not bad. Or if you're tired, estoy cansado. Estoy cansado. Or if you're a girl, estoy cansada. So estoy cansada. Or if you're a little sad, we've got estoy triste. So estoy triste. Or another useful one is estoy contento. So estoy contento. Or remember, you've got estoy contenta if you are a girl. Número tres, hablas español. So hablas español. Do you speak Spanish? So the verb hablar, the verb to speak, is a really useful one to learn when you first start learning Spanish. Now remember, a really easy way to conjugate regular AR verbs is to simply take off the AR off the end of the verb there. And remember, if we want to get the yo form of the verb, we just simply put an O there instead. So I speak becomes hablo. So hablo. Now remember, for the majority of you, most of you would have probably just started learning Spanish quite recently. So one response you can say is hablo un poco. So hablo un poco de español. Hablo un poco de español. I speak a little bit of Spanish. And then hopefully in the future you can say, sí, hablo español. So sí, hablo español. Yes, I do speak Spanish. Número 4, ¿cuánto tiempo llevas estudiando español? So, ¿cuánto tiempo llevas estudiando español? How long have you been studying Spanish? So, the easiest way to answer this question, in my opinion, when I first started learning Spanish, was by using this particular formula. Desde hace, plus the amount of time you've been studying Spanish for, and then we use the verb estudiar, but in the present tense. So to give you an example, I myself have been studying Spanish for 5 years, so I would say, desde hace 5 años estudio español. So desde hace 5 años estudio español. So remember the verb estudiar. Remember what I said before. An easy way with regular AR verbs to find the yo form is to simply remove the AR and then put an O there instead, which gives us estudio. So I study. Now, to give you an example, if you've been studying Spanish for, let's say, 2 months, okay, you'd say, desde hace 2 meses estudio español. So, desde hace 2 meses estudio español. So you can see how simple it is, isn't it? Now, let's say you've been studying for 6 months, so a little bit longer. Desde hace 6 meses estudio español. So, desde hace 6 meses estudio español. Número 5, ¿de dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres? So, where are you from? So remember, we're going to be using the verb ser, which also means to be, but remember we always use the verb ser whenever we're expressing where yourself or where someone else is from. Por ejemplo, personalmente soy de Nueva Zelanda. So soy de Nueva Zelanda. So I am from New Zealand. Or for those of you watching from the States, you can say soy de Estados Unidos. So soy de Estados Unidos. Or for those of you watching from Canada, soy de Canadá. So soy de Canadá. Or my friends over in England, you can also say soy de Inglaterra. So soy de Inglaterra. Great work, everyone. Now I want you to imagine that me and you are having a conversation in Spanish right now. I'm going to ask you those same 5 questions again, and I want you to respond to me, but I also want you to say your answer out loud. And I'm going to give you 4 or 5 seconds to answer the question, but if you do need more time, you can hit pause on the video also. All right, let's do it. Número 1, ¿hablas español? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo estás? ¿De dónde eres? ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas estudiando español? Great work, everyone. So if you got any value from this video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Also, if I can help with any other questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Hasta pronto.